Let's go to Australia. Speak to Dimi, who's a Newcastle fan, because we're talking top four. Dimi, congratulations. If I had a hat, I'd take it off and salute Newcastle. What a job Eddie Howe has done. How happy are you that you're going to be hearing that Champions League anthem next season?
It's unbelievable, to be honest. It's surreal, the fact that we've made top four this year. I don't remember a time that we haven't been rubbish, to be honest. So it's a good surprise this season, and obviously since the takeover, everything's going up for us, and it's a wonderful achievement to finish top four.
Yeah, Dimi, I feel like we talk about obviously Eddie Howe, the job he's done, and all the players, but if I'm thinking next season, obviously you're in the Champions League, what sort of players do you want to come through the door? Because I've seen them being linked to like Neymar and that. Would you want them type of players coming through your door?
Absolutely not. We don't want prima donnas. We don't want players who are just looking for a check and looking for a high pay packet and not willing to put the effort in. I think we're going to go for those young, up-and-coming stars of Europe who are probably not too known in the Premier League, probably in the Bundesliga or League A or La Liga. Those players who probably can develop 22, 23-year-olds who hopefully can become those superstars like your De Bruynes and your Salahs in the Premier League. I don't think we should be splashing on your Neymars and stuff. Those guys are not for what we're trying to build at Newcastle, for sure.
Prima donnas, you just want to pick up a check. It sounds like Clinton Morrison.
No chance. I put hard
in
work
his Birmingham days.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not sure about that. Let's move on. Let's move on anyway. Come on.
It's going to be such an exciting summer for Newcastle, isn't it?
No, of course it is.
We've said so many times since, the takeover, obviously, every window you think, and they haven't gone, like Chelsea and like Forest and signed a whole load. It's always been like 5 quality players that can just add to the quality that they've got, and that's going to be really interesting. I mean, there's still a battle to finishing third, Dimi, isn't there? So actually, your game, you want to finish above Manchester United, who have their eyes on that FA Cup final against Manchester City. I'm going to ask you for your goal of the season in a second, and I know they're going to do the awards on Monday, but Eddie Howe has to be a contender for manager of the season.
Oh, 100%.
He took over, Dimi, you had 5 points from 11 games, and he's just got you into the Champions League with not, everyone laughed at him when he signed Dan Burn.
It's been ridiculous. I mean, I think January last season, we'd won 1 out of our first 20 games, and if you told me last January when we're 20th or 19th on the table that 18 months later we're going to be sitting 3rd or 4th most of the season, you'd be crazy. So Eddie Howe, for me, from where we've come from, and despite we've spent some money, yes, but we spent no money the 10 years previous. So I think the money we had spent has been spent well, and I think for sure that he should be manager of the season. The rise that we've had is just unfathomable, to be honest.
Have Newcastle had a better season than Arsenal?
Ooh, that's a tough question, that is, to be fair.
Why not? Who thought Newcastle were going to finish in the top 4?
No, they have had a better season, but who thought Arsenal would be going for the title?
8 points behind City.
Yeah, but no one thought
3
title
games to spare.
Yeah, but they were in the title race.
All right.
So I'm going to say they've both been brilliant and overachieved.
Dimi, before you go, give us your goal of the season. Because, we've been thinking, I know you were listening to Ty there, haven't been sort of a collection of 20 where you think, it's so hard to pick, have there?
There's been some cracking goals for Newcastle this season, to be fair. I think the best goal of the season is probably the end result was only a tap-in for Murphy, but I think the Isaac run against Everton where he skinned about 5 players, and
this is outrageous.
I think he skinned Godfrey, about 3-4 times in that same play, and
look at this.
It was just out of control. And that was from the kickoff as well. So Everton had just scored. The game was at 3-1. It was maybe still on, but that run is just ridiculous. I mean, that's just world class. And I mean, if there's a big player in the Premier League who doesn't play for Newcastle, like a Salah or a De Bruyne does that, I think that's being splashed over TV week after week. So I think for me, that's the goal of the season.
Which game did you get to, Dimi? Because I know we spoke a while ago. You came over, didn't you? We spoke to you. You got in trouble leaving your honeymoon in Greece. What game was that?
Yeah, it was the first home game of the season. It was a Forest game. So I'm still married, so that's a bonus. 18 months on, we're still going strong. But unfortunately, haven't been back over to Europe. I was trying to make it over for the Carabao Cup final. Couldn't make that work with work, and also the flights were ridiculous. But hopefully next season there's another European trip, and I can make it over maybe for a Champions League game now.
Exactly. Yeah, we'd be off to asking Mrs. Dimi for a trip to the Bernabeu. See if she signs that one off, shall we? Dimi, great to speak to you. Have a fantastic summer. Congratulations to Newcastle. That's Dimi from the Toon Under podcast.
Quality.
Go and check that one out as well, Newcastle fans. Let's go from.